Hello, welcome to the Property Pilot. My name's Marco Sarusi. I'm a property investor, developer and mentor. And today we're going to talk about how I fast-tracked my property investment journey and how you can also do so. Before I get into the main topic, I please would like you to subscribe to the channel. It would really help this channel grow. It would personally mean a lot to me, and it means other people can see these hopefully really great videos that I'm putting out on a daily basis. That's Monday to Friday. I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about cash and cycling cash. I'm then going to talk about training and learning and know-how. And they're two really important variables on how you can increase and fast track and scale your property journey. And these are things that I've personally experienced myself. Let's talk about cash. It sounds really obvious, but if you can recycle your cash far quicker than normal property investors or typical property investors, you will scale your portfolio much faster. Now, how on earth do you scale this cash and get the cash out and keep it growing and growing and growing? There's a couple of ways we can do this, but let me just explain the concept first so you understand it. So let's say we're buying a property. I'll use some easy figures. We're buying a property for £100,000. We're buying it with a mortgage, and that mortgage is a 75% loan to value, which means that's £75,000 mortgage, and we're putting £25,000 as a deposit, right? So we've got £25,000 in there, our own cash. We've got a little bit more because it covers legal fees, stamp duty, maybe your broker fees, and maybe a small refurb or something like that. So let's call it £30,000. That's what we've got in this property cash, our cash. Now, what we want to do is we want to recycle that cash. Why do we want to do that? Well, we want to take that cash out so we can invest it in the next project and start scaling up our portfolio and fast track our portfolio. So how do we do that? There are several ways. The most common way is by adding value to the property, or not necessarily even adding value. The property is valued higher than what you purchased it for. And this can be true for a number of reasons. A, you could actually be refurbing the property to add value to it. So if you bought it, the condition's pretty poor, and you're doing a refurb and paying money for the property to be in a great condition, and you profit from that difference. That's one way that we can add value through renovation. And the second way is, and I really like this way, it's a little bit harder nowadays, is actually doing more or less nothing to the property at all, not even a lick of paint, nothing. But maybe you can actually negotiate a higher rent with the tenant, or maybe you can evict a tenant, a problematic tenant that is, and that's why the property is going for cheap, and getting a new tenant in who's paying market rent or a good rent. That's really what I love doing, because the way I see that, it's just a paperwork exercise. I don't have to lift a hammer or nail it, paint any of the walls. It's very, very easy. That's another way we can add value. And a final way, again, which is a very passive way of adding value that doesn't require much effort, is to just do that on a capital basis. So what you could say is, right, well, let's look back to say 2019 when house prices were increasing in 2020 or 2021. And let's just say they were increasing on between 5 and 10% per year, depending on where you are in the UK. Well, let's say you were in a great area that experienced lots of growth and it grew 10% in that particular year. Well, that property is now worth 10% more 12 months down the line. The value of that property is higher, and you could potentially choose to take out some of that additional cash in terms of value. So we've spoken about three options here, or three ways how we can get a property valued higher. Firstly, it's actually by adding value through renovation. Secondly, it's by increasing the income of that property through maybe getting better tenants. And thirdly, it's actually through doing nothing and just relying on time, but not a long period of time, a shorter period of time, to increase those values in line with the general area. Just to recap there, three ways all the way that ranges from very hands-on refurb to very passive ways of doing this. So that's one way how I fast-tracked my property investment journey, through recycling cash quick. So rather than, say, fixing a mortgage for 5 years, I'd actually choose to fix for 2 years, or even a shorter amount of time as possible, which means that I don't have to pay early redemption payments. That's how I fast-track my property journey, by recycling cash in a timely manner. Not waiting or not fixing mortgages for 5 years, fixing for less, which really works in the boom period because you can take advantage of low interest rates and high capital depreciation. And you can refinance those properties, take out cash every 2 years, and use that cash to invest in other projects. And again, rinse and repeat the process to accumulate funds and reinvest those funds. And the aim should be to reinvest those funds as soon as possible. You don't want that cash sitting in the bank, especially if it's a large amount of cash, because the opportunity cost of that money sitting in the bank is huge. You could be earning very nice returns over here rather than it being sat in the bank doing absolutely nothing. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about and how you can fast track your property investment journey is actually by learning through others. You don't know what you don't know. What a great saying, right? And it's completely true. And if you go about life in general with this outlook, you can really start to understand things a bit more by asking questions from other experts. So for example, in my early days in property, I sat down with accountants, I sat down with solicitors, I sat down with valuers, I sat down with surveyors, just to understand how they work, how does their process work, and how does that impact upon me. And now that I've got a very thorough understanding on several different areas around the property industry, I've got a really holistic view of how I can actually better my returns and what to do, say, before evaluation comes up, or what to do before the legal process has even started. And those tips and tricks are only what you can learn from other people who have experienced that process. So again, to fast track your property journey, partner up with someone who's got experience. Take them out for lunch, it's on you. You just want to know everything they know. That'll be the cheapest lunch you've ever bought, I can guarantee. Learn from other people. This could be people within your network. Don't even be afraid to reach out to people that you don't know. A lot of people are more than happy to help. For those that you don't know, I'm a private pilot, and I've helped not hundreds, but less than that, but a lot of pilots get into the industry. They've got questions about, well, how much does it cost? How do I actually start my lessons? What areas do I need to revise for my exams? And my flying YouTube channel helps people get into flying, and I personally take a lot of gratification in helping these people on their way. And I still get messages to this day, a couple every week, students asking for help and wanting to really become a pilot and get into that. Now let's transition over to property. I can certainly help people get into property. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but if you check my website, www.ms7.uk, the link will be in the description, you can see how I can help via mentoring. To recap, 2 really important ways to fast track and scale your property portfolio. Recycle your cash and recycle wisely. And secondly, learn from others. Learn from other people that can help fast track your journey. They can share all the failures and mistakes that they've made and help you achieve where you want to be in not 10 years, but maybe 2 years. So thanks for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. There's going to be daily videos, Monday to Friday, everything about property, property investing, property developing, etc. And I very much hope you've got value from today's video.